Alright, so today taking a look at 5 games that I've done a PC impression on in the past, or just revisiting after a few patches, and see how the game stacks up after its launch. First game on the list is Gotham Knight. Now this game, when it first launched, it had massive stuttering out in the open world when you're traversing, especially when you're on the bike going at high speed. It would stutter massively. After a few patches, I can confidently say that it has been sorted out. The game is completely smooth now for me. Outdoors on the bike, pretty much I don't really encounter any more of that massive stuttering. Indoor was never been a problem, so glad to see that they've been working on it and the game runs very smooth now. I think it's definitely checking out the single player, especially now it can be had for super cheap when it's on sale. After you're done with the campaign, you can do a new game plus on a different character. You get a few new kind of dialogue when you play with different characters, so that adds a little bit of replay value. But overall, it's a pretty fun single player game. Multiplayer, you can have a little bit of fun with that as well, but they stopped updating the game now, so I would definitely pick it up, especially when it's super cheap if the game looks interesting to you. Alright, next up is Forspoken. Now, if you saw my PC impression of this game, I recommend to hold up for a few patches for picking up if the game seemed fun to you. And after the latest patch, I don't know what they've done, but it has ran completely smooth for me out in the open world. And they fixed it, some of the stutter issue that I had in my PC impression. One of them is when you enter the menu and exit, there would be that lag spike. That has been completely gone. Opening puzzle treasure box, where there's massive stuttering every time you open a treasure box, that has also been fixed. And overall, just the general performance of the game has greatly improved since launch. So I do recommend picking it up now, if the game is still interesting to you. And it can be had for like 50% off now during a sale. So add that to your wish list. Alright, next up is Stranger of Paradise, the Steam version that just released this past week. Now this game, originally I ran it on my 3090 system and it was incredibly poor, especially when you perform execution and there were those red matters everywhere on the screen. Every time you perform an execution, it would dip. On my system, it would dip somewhere down to like 30 to 40. It was very inconsistent. The rest of the game ran okay. It's just every time you do an execution, which you will be doing it a lot in this game, so every time it would dip down to 30 and 40, so it ran horrible. Now with the Steam launch, I repurchased again, and I would have to say the game runs very smooth now. I went back and installed on my 3090 system, and the performance has immensely improved. It's not perfect. There's still some slight slowdown during the execution when there's a lot of enemies on screen. But if if there's only one or two enemies on screen, it no longer dips down like before. It's a very smooth, much smoother experience. So I would say I'm not sure what they've done in the past year, but the performance has greatly improved. Now with my 4090 system, the game is buttery smooth. I do recommend this game actually if you're a huge fan of Neo 2 and Final Fantasy job system. So it's a nice combination of both, and it's a really fun and engaging combat if you like Neo 2 gameplay and if you like the Final Fantasy job system. It merges really well in this game, and you want to play it for the only the combat in this game and Jack, the character. And here's the reason why.
Waves resonate through the verdant land, enriching the soil and nurturing the trees. Harvests are bountiful, and from summit to sea, people sing the praises of the earth. A foolish dream, no matter how much you wish it, that season will never come. It will remain a dream so long as I live. Who I am.
I don't give a fuck who you are!
I am Lich, and I shall devour all that is good.
Alright. Alright, the fourth game is Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Now, this game I played originally when it launched, but I dropped it shortly after due to some performance issue, and I just wasn't really into the huge Ubisoft open world at the time. But I just recently picked it up again, and it's actually really fun, and it runs incredibly well now, both on my 3090 and 4090 system. So I'm not sure what they've done, but I also felt like they tighten up the combat a little bit as well this past couple years. It doesn't feel as floaty as before. Things feel a bit more impactful, and they tighten up the combat, I think. So I believe they reworked it. Correct me if I'm wrong, if anyone recently played Valhalla. But yeah, going back to the performance, I can honestly say I'm kind of blown away for an Ubisoft title. This game right now is incredibly well optimized. I tried my best to turn everything up to max, playing at like 5K with everything on max setting on my 4090, and I was just doing everything I could possibly do to try to get the game to at least maybe hitch or stutter once, but it just ran completely smooth. I would say it's on the same level as something like Days Gone, on that same level optimization. If you play Days Gone, that game is incredibly well optimized, and I feel like it's on that same level like Days Gone. Going back to the gameplay, the game is still a massive time sink though. So if you don't have the time, this is not a good game to pick up. But it's still a nice game to pick up, play a little bit here and there, if you don't, even if you don't have a lot of time. But it will take you a very long time to beat it and do everything that there is to do now, including all the DLC. Alright, so the last game on the list is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Now, this game was a massive surprise hit for me in 2019. Not really a Star Wars fan, I just watched the movies here and there, but this game was incredible. One of my favorite single player title of 2019. And with the sequel coming out this month, I thought I'd revisit it and replay it. And unfortunately, this is the only game that has not improved at all in terms of performance since launch. Just like when the game first launched, the overall performance is fine. It is just the when you're going between loading area to loading, the game stutters massively, and that has not been fixed at all since launch. So even on my 4090 system, going back to playing it, it still stuttered massively during kind of area transition while it's loading assets. But if you've never played this game before, I highly recommend it, especially with the sequel coming out. And with the stutter during the loading areas, I don't think that alone is going to hamper the enjoyment of the game, especially when you can pick it up when it's on sale for like $3. Alright guys, so that does it for this video. Now, is there any game that you guys played recently that you went back to that performance had greatly improved for you? Let me know, and I might check it out as well. Alright guys, that does it for me, and I will see you in the next video. Take care for now. Bye.